I'm excited. It's been one of those we played a while ago, so I've kind of forgotten what happened. It's going to be good to catch up tonight.
Yes, and chat will notice. They'll be like, "Hey, we couldn't hear Jim there for a second. I fixed it. I got the
Yep.
audio going. Would it be a web game plays if we didn't have a couple of technical
Oh yeah,
glitches? That's why we do the pre-show to make sure that we get the episodes right. So,
absolutely.
um, Fading Suns is an interesting game. It's unique to this channel. It's the first time we've played it. For those of you that follow Ulysses International on online, so we're actually playing a system called Fading Suns. You'll see that I have physical copies of beautiful set of
Yeah,
this game. So the Fading Suns Pax Alexius box set. This is a space opera uh,
that is a hell of a
game.
box set.
It's full gloss too, and it's thick and it's weighty and like
Yeah.
let me show you. Like there's this like fold out player star map. You
Oh,
know,
cool. Yeah.
yeah, it's this
Okay.
is amazing. They
Uh-huh.
have a bag of coins for when we're handing out victory points and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um,
you could tell that there's a lot of like tokens. I love a game with hand like tokens and handouts and just physical like stuff at the table too. I fiddle with things, so I
yeah,
that kind of stuff.
it's good for fiddlers. Like you can see,
Yeah.
these are, and I apologize for my audio over here. I'm on a secondary setup. Yeah, they have all these tokens to punch out, and
Hmm, hmm.
the game master screen, which we'll show off, is thick, beautiful, covered with artwork on the front,
Yeah.
but on the back it has everything you need to play the game. When we were playing uh, the first episode, I relied on the game master screen next to me. It's actually, yeah,
Hmm,
the
hmm.
neat
Yeah, I
stuff
have one
too.
open too.
They have a lot of there's the pregens I handed out. They actually have every pregen and all the
Oh,
artwork,
cool.
all just ready to go. So like when we
Yeah.
played, I just had my character ready to go. And
Well,
other
and
things
those are
too.
cool because those are also GM, like those like a GM needs a quick NPC. There's
Yep.
stats on those for both playing them as PC and NPCs, so they do double duty. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
This is. I'll stick those sheets back in, but yeah, I've got the play kit. It's got the troop coffer. It has like fold out like these little play mats for the players to put all their little tokens on and keep track of everything while they're playing, as well as the
Hmm,
sheet.
hmm.
Really is an interesting set. Everything in this is. I often, there's the drinking game. Every time I say the word deluxe on stream, you take a shot. But anytime we run a show for Ulysses, it's deluxe. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't get nicer than this as far as quality of the materials or the presentation of the aids. Um, I had posted a picture on Twitter where everything was just beautiful and wonderful as far as the actual presentation of the materials. Um, so let's talk a little bit about the game itself. So Jim is running it. How did you find Fading Suns to be from a how is it different than other games that you've run here on WebDM Plays?
Hmm.
And uh, what was the experience like preparing to run a session?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a nice bridge because I'm a fantasy guy, right? Like there are some people who they're just genre fans. It really doesn't necessarily matter, but fantasy sunk its claws deep into me long ago, and so like I like the fact that Fading Suns says like we're a sci-fi setting. Everything that's in sci-fi, they you know and love about it. It's here, but it's got this gloss and this presentation of it being like a feudal-esque side of society. There's a lot of fantasy tropes involved in it, so it's like easy for me to just like step into a different mindset and go, okay, if I can imagine it in a fantasy game, if I can imagine it in something like Star Wars, then I can imagine it in Fading Suns. And from there it was really a matter of like, okay, well, let's put together a game of something like some a little bit of dash of aristocratic intrigue, a little bit of dash of maybe forbidden or alien technology or something, and create something out of it. And the books did a really great job of sort of pulling out what it is that they're trying to do with this game to make it different, to set it apart from other sort of science fiction games, and really focuses in on that. Like, it's very much about like, this is a the stereotypical D&D, or in this case space fantasy um adventuring party. Like, we're going to make that a cultural artifact of Fading Suns, and we're going to embed it with this cultural narrative for your characters understand, so that there's nothing weird about them palling around and going on adventures and quests and things like that. And especially when we tell them that like 90% of the rest of the setting is like they never leave the home planets that they're on, and maybe have late 19th century technology available to them. Like, having that be so powerful and so like central to it, and saying like your characters are reenacting a cultural story for them that goes beyond like a movie that they all saw. It's like cuts to the heart of who their characters are, and like, here's how you bring that out. Here's how you structure various parts of your game to highlight these things, and like the tools they give you for running various games of like intrigue and drama and high action, and exploring the past or whatever, and then breaking it up into scenes and acts and the like. And the narrative, the language of dramaturgy was also refreshing, because in a lot of ways, like, that is how an RPG session goes. It's like, well, when is the scene over? When the dramatic question has been ended, when there's no more tension, that's when the scene is over, and then you move to the next moment of tension and drama. And like, that was really refreshing to prep for. There was not like lists of NPC names or things like that,
Mm-hmm.
but it was very much focused on the rhythm of play. And having prepped and then run it, I can see why. There were some things before I ran it that I was like, man, this is different. And then I played and I was like, oh, I see why they wanted me to think about this. Like, I can see why this was a part of the prep process.
So let's talk a little bit about you're playing with a group of players, some of which you'd never played with before. How was that experience? Because I had actually played with everyone in the group, but not all together, just separately. So I put together kind of a. I think you could tell by the end of the first scene. There's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is feisty.
Yeah, yeah. I knew that we would have a crew who was very much like going to mix it up, and that I wouldn't need to push or like lure. I know that if I set up a, excuse me, live streaming here,
We killed him.
but I right, that I knew that if I set up a tangle or a knot, that one of you would find a way to get yourselves involved in it. And for a one shot like this, especially once we found out we had like imperial princesses and like the heads of formerly traitorous noble houses and all these sort of like high concept PCs, it's like, let's just go for broke. We've got 3 sessions. Let's play the adventures of an imperial princess. Let's see what it's like when someone who thinks that they're just out to have a good time is called in to do something for the family, and has to, for a moment, like, take a step away from their just sort of ambling adventures through the stars because they can, to like, this is real family business, like something's going down. And seeing which parts of that setup y'all respond to, because it always surprises me. It always does. I'm never disappointed.
And if you were to describe the setting, which is vast, but in,
Oh yeah.
say, 2 paragraphs, no more than 3, which is
Gotcha.
difficult for Jim Davis to do.
It's very
If
difficult
you were
for
to
me
give a
to
high
do.
level,
Yeah.
say this, say we're in an elevator, the elevator's going up, and you have about 30 seconds to pitch the setting. How would you pitch it? How would you pitch it to a group of players? Like, say you wanted to run this for a home game. How might you pitch it
Yeah.
to them? Want to play Fading Suns? And they all go,
Making
okay.
faces.
No, that's a.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, all right, I guess if you make us. Okay, so the setting is humanity is spread to its technological limit throughout the stars and stopped expanding some time ago and is sort of receded. There is a hope of resurgence in that, But humanity is going to have to grapple with some of the sins that it committed in expanding throughout the universe. And our game is going to be about you playing individuals who are inspired by that potential for resurgence and renewal and regrowth, and seek to be the light that they want to see changed in the universe. Because I think that's the real heart of it. Fading Suns can be grim. At first glance, you're like, wow, this seems like a dark setting. But I think that darkness is a contrast to the heroic lights that your characters are who they're supposed to represent and the kinds of things that they're supposed to get up to. It's easy to contrast it with Warhammer 40K. There's a lot of similarities in terms of aesthetics, in terms of sort of themes that they're playing with. And I think that Fading Suns is much more hopeful and much more like humane in the way it treats its subject matter. It says this is a moment of fear for humanity. And yeah, humanity did some messed up stuff. There's some alien races and civilizations in this game that have legitimate beef with humanity. And yet it says this is not like the predestined or preordained. There is hope. There is something to change. It doesn't mean it's going to be uncomplicated or like an easy win, but the possibility for it is worth fighting for. And like that's what I really like about it. That's what really sells the setting for me, is the humanity of it.
Yeah, something that I found really interesting is for us as players, how it's really focused on our individual and personal journey, our personal pilgrimage.
Mhm.
What are we trying to get out of it specifically? Um, I will say now for the audience, you if you don't know the players who's playing, Maria Moore, Happy Capster, who played in Torg or Roche and with us at Ulysses Con, is playing a character in the campaign. My friend, the Noir Enigma, is playing on WebDM Plays for the first time. I played with Noir at Ulysses Con, on Gen Con's official channel. We've kind of been production pals for almost a year now. You know, it's always great to play with Noir. And then my friend, Megan Lynn for the win, Megan Cross, who's just a extremely talented game designer and actual play performer, who really brings the drama. I'm playing with Megan in an Aegon podcast. Oh my gosh, good to see you, Noir. Yeah, this is just a fun group to bring together for Fading Suns to explore and learn. No spoilers, but after watching Noir play the first scene, I was like, oh, so that's what this is going to be. And like, I applauded it just because I was
Mhm.
like, we have a battle brother for sure in here.
Yes.
Um, I think every time I play with Noir, Noir's been either a preacher or a religious character, which is kind of a nice theme. I mean, most of the time I tell everyone I either play sad boys, church girls, or chaos gremlins. It's gonna go one way or the other.
Yep.
Um,
Everybody's got some their stock characters.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I to get sort of back to where we your original question there, like for a game like this where I'm not like familiar with all the players, what I want to do is like keep things loose but still provide direction and pacing. So I didn't want to come with nothing. I didn't want to be just like, well, I expect you guys to do all the hard lifting, and I'll just be over here smiling, like I want to have something ready to go and some sort of conflict we could get wrapped up in. But I wasn't quite sure, like, I didn't realize you guys were going to make three like combat type characters
Mhm.
that we ended up with. And so that's sort of like, okay, well that's helpful. We talked about it a bit during like session 0, but then there's we were still sort of lots up in the air. And I don't want to have such like an inflexible plan for a first game like this, that if there's pushback or someone's like, this is just fun for me, I don't want to engage with it, then I'm left with nothing. And I think we did really good uh, easing into figuring out what it is that's interesting about these characters and interesting about like the conflicts that they could get involved in. Um, that just feels good. Sometimes it's just you groove together and you find something
Mhm.
that works, and there's not really a 1 2 3 process to explain it.
No, now I thought no spoilers. I thought it was a pretty interesting adventure framework. Was there a specific place you got the idea from, or sort of how did it come together? Just because I didn't know what to expect going in. I know we had a session 0, but I was just kind of like,
uh,
I'm really curious because there's just, I mean, there's a whole variety, but it was a
yeah.
fun session. But it's one of those things. Someone in chat asked, they were like, "Was this a pre-published adventure? Did it come out of Jim's head?" I was like, "This very much feels like it came out of Jim's head."
Oh yeah, yeah. There was some pre-published stuff that I flipped through, and it was helpful to like look at in terms of a framework for like what the scene, like breaking down a scene, the way Fading Sun's GM prep has you break it down. That was helpful. But no, once we got done with the session 0, and we decided that we would be a noble entourage, and I wasn't expecting like third in line from the heir to the throne, but I don't ask those kinds of questions of players in play if I'm not prepared for them to go, I'm next. It's me that's next. you know, like we're here to go big or go home though. So that's great. But I heard a noble who was sort of looking for, a bit of a getaway from the family, bit of their own time, palling around with some people that they'd picked up, or tag-alongs, and it would be an interesting conflict if the first one was like, "Hey, this is your family. They're asking you to go do a family thing. It's pretty important." Because if the player says no, I've always got space pirates in my back pocket, right? I've always okay. All right, you said no to my first thing, then it's space pirates, and then the first one is like, now we can play through this on this potential tension. Does the character rise to the occasion and you know not let their family down? Are they able to uncover a deeper intrigue of why they need to step in? um, and so it's one of those things where it's like, how far do you want to look behind the curtain, because it's going to be both maybe informative and disappointing, uh, because it really is just a matter of like picking out I'd like this kind of scene.
Right.
I think this sort of moment would be
Yeah.
fun. How can I find a way to make it interesting in play and look for a moment to throw it in? Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll say this, like, for me, as someone who preps games and looks at it, I think it's one of those things too where it's a little bit like some people, they see the art or the animation I make, and I'm like, that's literally just me screaming profanities at the canvas for 4 hours, and then it becomes something. You all are going to get to see. I animated a new opening for the show. It's not very long. It's like 12 seconds. I wanted something subtle and poignant and right on the nose for today. Um, so in terms of Fading Suns from a player perspective, and I'll say this,
Yeah.
it might seem when you look at a character sheet for the first time like there's a lot on it, but it's relatively simple to navigate through.
Yeah.
I would advise folks who are playing to, uh, if you don't have physical copies of the products, the PDFs are certainly helpful to get through. And you'll notice in the episode, as always, when we're doing a new game, there will be times where we stop to check the rules. We do it pretty quickly. Actually, Maria had the page citation ready to go
Mm,
as I asked the question. They respond with page 107. That's where you find the rules for capabilities.
yeah.
And then we were able as a group to talk about.
It's a really smooth system. I love roll under. I love roll
Mhm.
under. And then saying like, okay, you roll under, but the higher you get, the better, because you have more points to play with afterwards. Is really, I think, really just like butter. I really
Yeah.
like it. Yeah.
What I like about Bill Bridges as a designer too is throughout the writing, you can just see the heart on his sleeve where he's just like, this is a game, and it's a game about storytelling. And
Yeah. It's self-consciously like yeah.
yeah, and he explains it's still a game, but also he gives very good, like, there's times where it's like, and this is a mind control power. Then he's like, call. He goes, and if you ever use this to abuse a player, I don't want you playing my game. And he says it that boldly. He goes, put it down and just leave the table if you're going to use it to abuse other people at the table, because that ain't cool. I like how he takes the time to just be like stern dad pointing the
Yeah,
finger.
yeah. Yeah, instead of
Um,
trying to find a bunch of workarounds for it, just be like, no, it's like when you buy one of those toys and they're like, don't shoot this dart in your kid's eye.
so
Don't
to
hurt, don't hurt your brother, please.
to answer chat's
Yeah.
question, we are going to play an episode in 2 minutes. So the start time for episodes is 6 p.m. As you can see, 6 p.m. Eastern. So we're about a minute away. Um, uh, Jim, why don't you go ahead and give your plug since there will be no after show. Let us know where we can find you online and if anything else we should know.
Yeah. So I am like every Wednesday I'm over on YouTube on our YouTube channel WebDM, and then our actual play shows are archived over on WebDM Plays, which is a second YouTube channel for us. I am intermittently on Twitter. You can poke me or at me if you have a deep and burning need to be potentially ignored at the real Jim Davis. But that's where I'm at. If I'm online, are those two places. But yeah, here in a minute, you'll get a chance to see me behind the DM screen, and hope you guys enjoy.
You're writing a book.
Oh yes, thank you very much. I am writing a book. It's so overwhelming that sometimes I forget about it. But yeah, we're writing the Weird Wastelands right now. I actually submitted my first full chapter, not the first chapter. It's chapter 4, but my first full one last week. And man, started with the hard stuff. So fun time.
It's I did the same with mine.
Uh,
I want to say I start officially. I was supposed to start with chapter 5. I said no. I have to start with new mechanical systems, and I'm
yeah,
going to
get the
do
new
the
systems.
long journey mechanic.
Mhm.
I did, and we'll get into the episode, but I did get to use my dueling mechanics on Thursday night. We did a pro wrestling style Royal Rumble.
Awesome.
And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, Jim, we'll catch you on the flip side. For those of you watching the show, we're going to mute out here. Enjoy the episode, and we are going to be live with it in about 30 seconds. Bye.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to WebDM's Twitch channel. How's it going? This is WebDM Plays. I am Jim Davis, host of WebDM and GM, wow, for this game of Fading Suns that I am playing with these beautiful and wonderful people right here. So, yeah, let's go around the table. And Maria, let's start with you. Let's introduce everybody. Let us know who you are. And yeah, all that good stuff.
Hello, I am Maria. I am on the internet these days as Happy Capster. I am a content creator, variety streamer, TTRPG enthusiast, artist, all the things. I do a lot of things these days, wear a lot of hats. I'm also part of Goblin Society Games, where we do a lot of TTRPG stuff there too. Are we doing character introductions now, or do you want to do that later?
I would introduce who you're playing.
Okay. I am playing Vencia Delacroix. Uses she and they pronouns, as do I. And they are a fighter, bodyguard, a little bit cold and callous, but just a little bit.
Excellent. Excellent. Noir, how about you go next?
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm Noir. You can find me all over the internet as the Noir Enigma. That's Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. I am a game designer, streamer, the whole shebang. I also have a lot of hats. And today I will be playing a a what I like to call a spicy Spock, Obun brother battle, which is just a really cool alien with high mental capacities that likes punching things the church tells him to punch. very much like me, my character Warwick Dane uses he, him pronouns.
Very good.
And
Very
that's it.
good. Megan.
Hello, I'm Megan. You can find me most places you can find a human on the internet at Megan Lynn FTW. I am also a streamer, TTRPG enthusiast, indie game designer. Just super psyched to be here. I use she, her pronouns, as does my character, Mila Hawkwood, who is a scholar, specifically a cartographer. She's just here to draw some maps.
What could go wrong? What could go
Nothing.
wrong?
She's just here to see the universe and draw maps.
Absolutely.
Everything's fine.
Everything's going to be just fine. And last but certainly not least, we have Daisy. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are. Who you're playing.
Hi, everyone. I'm Daisy Darling Ellis. I'm an independent game designer, and I'm the producer of WebDM Plays. I'll be playing the Baronet Vanessa Rousseau, who is also a noble, but my career path is a little different. I'm a conspiracist. My maps usually are drawn on corkboard and include photos of her and him and maybe even the game master and all the shenanigans that we're going to get into.
Yeah.
I assure you, nothing ill planned.
Nothing ill planned. No, just come down to the docks and the where all the storage sheds are, and you'll see the map. Excellent. Well, we are playing a game of Fading Sun, specifically a drama of my own devising, known as The Wayward Scion. Fading Suns is a sci-fi setting set about 3,000 years or so in the future. Humanity has spread across the stars, and the diaspora of humanity is slowly being reunited by a resurgent empire after a period of sort of fractitiousness and a dark age. Humanity is a little bit suspicious, a little bit fearful of their place amongst the stars, but there are those individuals of the nobility, the church, and the merchants guilds who have taken it upon themselves to brave the jump gates which connect the various worlds of humanity and go on various quests and pilgrimages of spiritual enlightenment to both benefit themselves and the society that they're a part of. And this is just a slice of their life. So we're going to start today aboard the escort cutter Bucephalon, which is an older warship, but bears imperial markings as it currently is carrying one of the members of that venerable and imperial house, the Hawkwoods. You have our troop aboard the Bucephalon. Is currently piloted by your charioteer, crewed by other members of that particular merchants guild. But I think now is the time, instead of looking at the menials and domestics and the like aboard the ship, that we turn towards the nobles and see what our troop is up to.
I'm
Well,
taking a turn about the room because it's boring on long travels. And just because it's hard to keep track of the days in space, that doesn't mean it's a reason to skip leg day. So I'm doing laps.
Nice.
Warwick has found a quiet corner, in the most busy area of the ship. That way he can take the time to meditate and also observe everyone there. He has a tendency to look at people as potential threats, and part of his mental exercise is to try and put a level on how difficult a time each person might be to deal with.
Nice.
I think in the same space, Vencia, almost like immediately juxtaposed to Warwick in the space, is doing almost the exact same thing, is kind of keeping an eye towards wherever their what's the term, their quarry in a sense is, and then keeping an eye on all of the other potential people here to see if they pose a danger, or if they are just to be watched, if they need to be taken care of before they get to wherever they're going. But she's trying to look casual. She's very bad at it, but they're trying.
Nice.
Yeah, I think Mila's not too far away. I think she has kind of set up camp on wherever she could find enough open space, which I think at this point is like on the floor in like a commonish area, and there's just like papers and charts and all sorts of stuff like scattered around her, and like open books like everywhere, and she's working on a map from wherever the last place we had stopped off is. So she's just like hunched over on the floor, like just working on this map, like just surrounded by lots and lots of stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I just departed from Bannockburn planet that the Muster, the Merchant Guild faction, sort of has a controlling interest in, and we took on some more crew there. So there's some new faces around, some mixing it up a bit. For the benefit of those who are watching at home, we are assuming that our troop has been on their pilgrimage for quite some time and have had other adventures. So we're sort of catching them in between escapades. And at the moment, you're traveling to the jump gate that will lead to Gwyneth, which is a Hawkwood-controlled world. But it's a several days journey from Bannockburn to the jump gate. And so there's just a lot of free time, and you have to sort of occupy yourselves. Now I am curious for Mila, what it is that drove her to sort of head out into the stars and sort of to leave behind maybe some of her imperial duties or obligations that she might have had.
Yeah, the main one is she's very learned, spent a lot of time like best education that she could get, and just being kind of shut up within like her family home and just like learning about all of these places. Like it just came to a point where she just told her parents, like, I need to see the world, like I need to get out of here and see what's out there, and there's so much that we still don't know, and I want to know it. And just kind of declared that she was leaving, which went over really well, super well.
Super well.
Parents were
Right.
totally fine and supportive, in that they weren't. We're like, yeah, you can go, but you're bringing people with you because we don't trust you to survive on your own, which is honestly valid.
Now, was it like a sort of a compromise? Was this like sort of like the only way you could leave is to sort of accept this aid, or was there, did you get a little bit out of it as well for yourself?
I think this is definitely a compromise, because the alternative would have been like she was going either way, and the alternative was kind of just like stealing whatever she could take and going off on her own. But this is a agreeable compromise because she still has like her family support, because she doesn't know how to live on her own or do anything for herself really. Like she's an idealist, and does not realize what the world is like because she grew up incredibly privileged. So having an escort with her was kind of like a small price to pay to kind of get that support, to just be like, all right, fine, go sow your wild oats for a couple of years and then come back when it's time to like do adult things for the family.
Right. All right. So last question, right, for the moment, for Mila, like, where does Mila stand in line of imperial secession? Like, how close is she to ascension? That's just a personal curiosity myself.
Yeah, I think she's up there. That it's not completely out of the question that she would be running the family someday. I think she's probably like maybe like third.
Nice.
That she can kind of be like, well, no, it's not like I'm the heir, so I can go do these other things. But she's high enough that it's like, but you might be, so don't go run off and get yourself killed like on some backwater planet.
Right. Right. Which seems like a bodyguard or something would be quite handy in that situation. I hear that Vencia is quite handy with a variety of weapons. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, stores some of their weapons on Mila. Mila doesn't necessarily. Vencia's seen Mila with weapons because I feel like there's some sort of training you kind of have to have. Vencia doesn't trust Mila with weapons. So Mila has them for like, in case Vencia needs like an extra gun or that sword that's not great, but will work in a pinch.
It's not just for show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So is this sort of like the first kind of a bodyguard assignment for Vencia? Is this sort of an old thing? Like, can I get a feel for where Vencia's perspective is on being on the ship on this particular journey?
Yeah. I think that she has been with the Hawkwood family as part of security details and protection and that sort of thing for a little while at least. I think this excursion is really the first time that they were like, we need you to do this specific thing, but only you and not like with anyone else. Which to her is a big deal, a very big deal, especially since it's protecting someone who is very important.
Yeah. Is Vencia nobility or themselves, or is it no?
No, Vencia came from kind of a nowhere place with a family who no one would recognize, a family that was content to just exist in their very meager place, and she was not about that. So she did a lot of things that some of them she would be proud of and some of them are just necessary to get to where she is now. So she's watched, I think, Mila kind of skirt through life and do this sort of adventuring out of just like nothing can go wrong. And they know better. They know the hardships of life. And they're not necessarily protecting Mila out of like a sense of honor or something like that. They're doing it because they know that doing this, making sure that Mila gets back, is going to raise their station when they get back.
Certainly. It's always advantageous to make yourself useful to the top dog, as it were. So yeah, very cool. All right. So for Vanessa and Warwick, are the question I have for actually both of you, but we'll start with Vanessa. How did you end up on the ship in the company of an imperial princess?
Oh, it's one thing to have a bodyguard, but she needs a wise aunt, a sisterly figure. Nay, dare I say, she needs the sweet, tender arms of motherhood to guide her and protect her. And I'm sure under my tutelage, a brilliant, ambitious, and elegant mind of House Hazat, she will be capable of achieving very great things. And when it comes to protection, all nobles of House Hazat are experts in a weapon form. I'm a master duelist, so if any harm comes, we don't need to plant any guns on her. I've got my saber, and she'll be fine. Isn't that right, Vince? Don't punch! I bruise easily.
Vince is also a master duelist, so
Well,
Just got a little spar here in a minute. So I have a question then for Vanessa, because it wasn't that long ago that Hazat opposed the Hawkwood ascension to the imperial throne. Is this a part of a way to make up for that, or is that just incidental? You're here for some other reason?
I never studied much history in school.
Not beholden to it. Very good. Very
No,
good.
I like to look forward. And I'm sure whatever Hazats had crimes paid for them.
Certainly. Certainly. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure too. I'm sure as well. Um, now, Warwick, if I recall, you said you were a battle brother, a member of one of the church's orders militant. Um, how have you found yourself in this particular company or this particular ship?
Uh, Warwick has no idea why he's here. He was told to go, and that's why he's there. But the overall scheme
Soldier.
of this is that this is a gesture of goodwill from the church. Um, they are hoping to win favor with the nobles. Uh, essentially, essentially gaining goodwill with as many powerful individuals as possible, as a means of gaining support on all of the church's initiatives and planning. The brother battles more than anything. They have a reputation of being some of the deadliest warriors uh, around. So it's a gesture saying you have your protection, but here's a legendary troop or a legendary soldier on top of that at no cost. Just remember us. It's that's what he was bred and raised for. He's got the ceremony of it all. Um, keeps to himself, keeps that aura of mystery
Oh yeah.
about, and uh, I think one of the things that might annoy him the most in this is like they have the sort of reputation where rich people kind of want to play with it, like the guards outside of the queen's castle, where people are just like, "Ooh, let's take a picture" or whatever, and he knows the rules. Don't say anything, entertain it, and protect the target.
Yeah. 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 All business. Love to see it. Love to see it. Excellent. All right. I have one last thing for Warwick, though, because of the reputation of those brothers battle. What is Warwick's most recent exploit of martial valor, if that is something you can talk about?
I would say, uh, so the Brothers of Battle, in my head, they have the missions that are publicized and the missions that aren't. The What's got him renowned in the church is that they have not given him a target to eliminate that he has failed to eliminate. He is
Mm,
very good at that. Um, but the way they doll him up is he saved a high level clergy member from an assault on another world, a rebellion that broke out, and he was able to make sure that that figure made it out alive and safe. And nobody talks about the dirty reality of what that means.
right. No one's dwelling on the bloody part of it. Very good. Very good. Um, so days pass by as your characters are aboard this ship, which it's a nice ship, right? Like this even as old as it is, even though it's not like top of the line, newest or most refurbished, it is a exceptional space vessel because of its passenger, and they have to have the best, nothing less. And furthermore, it means you don't have to wait in line at a jump gate. You get to cut to the head of the line and use it as soon as you arrive. There's no waiting around or twiddling your thumbs while someone else goes first. And so over those days, as you make your way towards the jump gate that leads to Gwyneth, um, time passes sort of fairly uneventfully. And it really isn't until you get within minutes of approach and entering to the jump gate when a chime goes off through the ship indicating an urgent communication has been received. And it's, you know, hear the sort of the ship slow down or feel it as it approaches. And Mila, there is a knock on your sort of chamber door, only a moment or so after the chime.
Hello?
It's one of the ship's ensigns. Uh, uh, Forgive me, Your Highness. Here, and he hands you sort of like a crumpled, like sort of like printer printout sort of paper. Is like longer than it is tall, with the things on the side, sort of like antiquated. Hands you the sheet of it. It bears encryption codes of sort of fairly high priority. Came from one of your immediate family members, perhaps even from the head of the family themselves, or at least you're part of this particular family. And in a very terse and to the point message, it reads, "Dearest daughter, I understand that you're headed towards Gwyneth for your own purposes, and I need you to put those aside for the moment, for the sake of our family. A member of the Hawkwood branch of Gwyneth gone missing at a vital moment. We are to seal an alliance with some of the local forest peoples there, bring them into the imperial fold. He was to deliver a gift and has gone missing. We need you to deliver that gift and repair this egregious breach of such a new alliance." Then it ends.
I'm gonna like look over it a couple times. So, just so I, the player, am getting this correct.
Yes.
We need to recover said gift and then deliver it.
Thank you. Yes, there was more to the message that somehow got forgotten. If you travel to the ports of Landfirth, the gift is waiting there, waiting for you at the dock there, and that's mostly that this is of the utmost priority. That they believe that there is potential for sabotage by a house rival. And just in a background sense, Gwyneth is a sort of a frontier world, has suffered a variety of attacks from human nations beyond the empire, and some of them have settled there, and were also sort of indigenous to that particular planet. And so this represents a major win for the empire in that they didn't need to be conquered. There was no violence involved. This is more of a part of the alliance that the emperor sealed whenever he married one of their people. This is sort of like a downstream consequence of that. It's not just the emperor that's getting married to barbarous space nations. It's cousins and third sisters and things like that as well. So that's what this is. It's a gift to sort of seal that portion of the alliance.
Okay.
Fairly important in terms of like what your character would understand about this situation.
I may not care too much about noble stuff, but I understand it. I will take the message, and I'm gonna make my way quickly to the wherever like the navigation is, or like the pilot is.
The bridge of the ship.
Because I have to tell them that we need to reroute and stop somewhere before we go to Gwyneth. Before we get in the jump gate.
They're asking you to once you get to Gwyneth to do something different than what you had planned. Is essentially the gist of the message.
Okay.
So you're already headed there. It's basically like,
right.
Instead of visiting this place that you wanted to, we need you to do this other thing first.
Okay. Yeah. So I want to relay that message, so I make sure we dock at the right place so we can pick up.
Perfect. Yeah, it will require docking at a completely like the other side of the planet, basically, from where you were going. As you're walking to the bridge, there's a second communications chime that goes off, and they have a second message for you. As you arrive. And this one is from perhaps your mother or someone closer, but not as sort of high up in the hierarchy. It says, "Daughter, I'm concerned about your missing cousin. This is not like him. I am deeply troubled by his absence in such a critical moment. You have it in you please look into the matter and let us know that he's safe and not harmed by anything. I suspect foul play and treachery.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay.
Let's look around. They're waiting for a third one to come in. But
Yeah.
nothing.
Anyone? Just like I'm gonna hold my dot matrix paper. Like, okay. All right, to the bridge. I'm gonna let them know, and then I'll probably my second matter of business would probably be to find Vencia to let them know that plans have changed and to show them the messages.
I think between the first and second general ping of like a message received, Vencia was like coming out of wherever they sleep, which is probably close to where Mila is, saw Mila walking away and is following. So like I
So-
imagine the situation is you like turn around to go and find me and I'm already standing there. Is everything all right?
No. Well, no. I got some letters from back home. Something's going on in Gwyneth. We need to go and pick up a gift for another group on the planet, because I guess things aren't going super well with the family and these people. And also my cousin is missing.
Oh,
So we need to find them too.
sounds rather important.
Certainly seems important.
Is this going to interfere with your and just kind of gestures where I assume that there's just like papers kind of scattered in every room? You've kind of like settled everywhere.
And she's probably has like ink smudged on her face and like stuff, like she's just kind of a mess. It's like,
Yeah.
Almost definitely. But if we finish this quickly, then we can get back to what we had initially planned, which was just to explore a bit and, see the planet. But if we put that off, they're going to know. And then I might have to go home for real, and I don't want that. So let's just go find my cousin and fix whatever it is happening here. And then we can just go back to the way things are.
All right. Do you mind if and they'll hold out their hand for the like paper?
Oh,
Transcripts.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Venture just wants to read over just to make sure that there isn't anything else missing. Any like hidden messages or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just make sure that all the information is being relayed.
Yeah.
Properly.
Yeah.
I know how to read. It's like the one thing
That I
I'm good
know
at.
it's communicating. Listen.
That's
Venture
what,
likes to,
fair.
like quadruple check everything. It's not just you.
Right. Let's see. If there's like a cryptography or like, can you pick up a hidden meaning? Let's see. Did you give anything like that?
Let's
See here.
Would have
Look at something myself just to familiarize. I think it's probably like a wits.
There is wits. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
wits as just a what are these called? They're not
I was gonna say there's wits and intuition.
there.
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There's also something that I have that you probably don't. That's imagery, arts, lore. To like
I
read
don't have
secret
that.
meanings and things.
Right.
I don't have that.
Oh, you don't? That just seems so odd that a fighter would know how to infer deeper meaning from images.
I'm smart in some ways and just strong in others.
Yeah. Just I think like in this case, given your background and sort of the context, well, I'm not going to ask for a role, but I like this idea that you're looking for sort of like a hidden meaning or perhaps maybe a motivation for what's going on.
Mhm.
And, like Emperor Alexei sits on the imperial throne sort of precariously. It wasn't that long ago that there was like a, entire like a galaxy-wide war to see who would become emperor. And the noble houses that are here now, like they have a power, but some of them oppose this guy
Mhm.
and the like. And there's sort of the Pax Alexius, this sort of peace and prosperity that his reign has ushered in. It's not like uniformly beneficial to everyone,
Mhm.
and so there's always plots and intrigues and the like. It could easily be more than just like this wayward imperial cousin isn't, doing what they're supposed to do. There's
Mhm.
always a possibility of something more nefarious.
Excellent. Good. Good. Great. Perfect. Okay.
And from Vanessa or Warwick, I mean, it's taken a long time to get through this jump gate. You should have been through by now and into the Gwyneth solar system.
I'm going straight to the bridge, and I'm going to fuss at them and tell them to speed it up. And if they can't, I'll get on the horn and I'll make sure it speeds up.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Vinci and Mila are here too.
Oh,
Baronet.
secret meeting. How devious.
No, not secret. We're
Oh, I'm just playing.
here. Oh. Everything's fine. It's fine. We are just
I would disagree. Things aren't quite fine.
Quarrel between the bestest of friends. Never anticipated it.
I think I'll look towards Mila. I think an honest approach to the situation is very important.
You're being
It's not
dishonest, Mila.
that fine. No, I don't think that.
All
I
right,
don't.
so-
I don't think that Mila's being dishonest. I don't think Mila
Then we
thinks
should
that
go
this
with Mila's plan. I haven't heard it yet, but I'm sure it's wonderful.
Yeah. So there's just some family squabbles happening that we need to assist with. So we need to just dock somewhere different and pick up a present for someone and deliver it to another place, and then find my cousin who's missing. And then it's fine.
Cousin? A
Yeah.
cousin? Unmarried, I assume?
Are they?
Maybe we find out.
Yeah, let's say unmarried. Yeah.
Unmarried. Jim Davis, will you please roll 1d10 so we
Let's
know
do
how hot they are?
All right, I got it.
Beat check.
4.
You know what? A Gwyneth 4 isn't that bad for Gwyneth.
So
Like a
it's-
Ravenna
it's-
7.
It's one of the lower branches on the hawkwood tree.
Yeah. Well, this is very intriguing. Vincia, you seem to have reservations. What are they?
It just seems. I think it will be all right, but I think it's going to be a bit less carefree than perhaps as a player. Is it Lady Hawkwood? What sort of honorific would someone potentially in my
call.
station give you?
I will have that answer very quickly. But as a princess, it's probably like at least highest. There is a actual thing here.
There's the nobility chart, and like
Is it
I'm a baronet, which is not. It's still fairly low, but it's
Actually, I was in the right. I was in the right PDF. I just was not. All right, here we go. And given the place of nobility in the empire, it's actually kind of important. So, Royal Highness or Highness is going to be actually for Mila. It's just Your Highness, because you're not the direct heir.
no HRH.
Yeah.
Yeah.
H.
And then for Baronet would be Sir or Dame. and then everyone else is just Lord or Lady.
I would prefer you refer to me as Your Grace, but Dame Vanessa Rousseau is fine.
Okay. Then to continue, I just feel it's not going to be as carefree as what Your Highness is thinking it might be.
If there are cares, we have your strong forearms and our good friend Warwick Dane's cunning and lethal modalities. No
I
one
just
will mess
think
with us.
if you go into something thinking that it's going to be a big to-do, then it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you go into it thinking that everything is going to be okay, then it will be.
That's
Things
good
always
logic.
work out.
I was
Don't
described
they?
by my parents as a very extra child. It will be a big to-do if I'm arriving. Otherwise, there would be no reason to do it. With that said, I'll lay low. I will keep it low-key. It'll be chill.
I didn't know you had that in you.
I really don't, but I love
Oh.
making promises that are very, very, very hard to keep. It's how I
Mm.
grow as a person.
It's something I've always appreciated about you.
Vinci is biting her tongue so hard because she knows her place, and it really shouldn't be with a punch in the face of someone of a higher station.
Um,
I
but
think it's go ahead.
I was like, maybe we should find Warwick and fill him in on what's
Right
happening.
here, he's right behind me.
I was just gonna say it felt at this time that Ward was just gonna awkwardly walk in, not say anything, and sit down.
I think Vencia would have seen you because Vencia's got
Like
eyes
clock-
everywhere. But yeah, I think Vencia would have just like seen you, maybe made like very brief eye contact while the conversation was happening.
I like to imagine that one of the gags is that we always like lock eyes with each other.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the opposite of a meet cute. It's like a meet violet. It's just like
Meet violence.
like one day I might have to.
Mm.
Like, how hard would it be to defeat you today, based on what I'm currently observing?
Listen, you're right there.
You're like, you ate a very starch-heavy breakfast, so I could probably take you down a bit easier than I
You
could
just woke up from a
yesterday.
nap.
Here we go.
I see you're favoring your left leg today.
Why might that be?
All of that passes wordlessly between the two of them.
Yeah.
I go,
0.10 seconds.
I go
Yeah.
straight-
Meanwhile, Emil's like, we should go find work, and turns around, but have you been here the whole time? Because I'm gonna be really embarrassed if you've been here the whole time.
You're
Are you muted?
Oh. He says
There you go.
he just says there's no need for embarrassment.
Oh. Well, then I won't be.
Very good.
It's good. It's convenient.
The pilot has been trying to get your eye contact, Mila, for a while. They're not going to say anything, but they've
Okay,
been
I'm-
trying to get your
Oh,
sort
you
of.
could just like
So your
if-
eyes?
you've been waiting for me? Yeah, yes.
Thank you. Very good. The ship picks up speed, begins to make its way through the gates. And unless there's anything else, we might call the scene.
I think the only thing would be at some point, either after everyone dispersed, Vencia would go over to Warwick. Now with you, Warwick, are you a brother Warwick, or are you just Warwick?
He personally doesn't care, but the church insists. The church would have you call him Brother Warwick.
I'm here for it.
Okay. I don't think Vencia would call you brother anything.
Yeah.
Unless specifically mandated by someone of absolute importance.
Good brother Warwick.
Good brother Warwick.
Like
My righteous reverend.
I'd like to imagine that the brother brother battles instead of having like the the white collar that we're all familiar with, You could tell his status because brother battles either have a blessed gun or a blessed sword, and he has his blessed sword draped around his robe.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's-
I think they would approach you, and after kind of waiting for everyone to go about their own business, would say, "You have similar skills to ones that I have been honing for many years. I think that we're going to have a bigger problem than either Her Highness or the Dame Russo think. And I feel like I may have to count on you, begrudgingly, to help keep things from going terribly wrong. That's something I can count on you for."
You can count on me for nothing. The church can count on me. And the church deems it that I be the solution for any violence that would occur towards the noble. So, if your aim is to make sure that they are safe, then the church has offered you a solution.
I think they don't nod, they don't like not acknowledge approvingly or anything. They just kind of like look at you and then just turn and leave.
And as you walk away, you do hear a slight, it's not a murmur, it's just a comment that is being said. And he goes, and our skills are nowhere similar.
Yeah.
This party dynamic is the juiciest I've been in a while. I'm drinking it.
Yum, 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 yum,
So
yum.
that to me, that is where the weird point, because I got a little chills from that one. So that'll go in the troop coffer for that. I don't know
We haven't even rolled a die
Yeah.
yet.
I know, right?
We're all eating today.
The feast for everyone.
Right. So yeah, I will do my best to keep track of y'all's like the shared pool of like victory points that you share and the weird points, but also for y'all's bit of pick. That's definitely worth fun. The ship, the Bucephalon, picks up speed, heads towards the jump gate, and the dampener on the ship suppresses the ecstatic experience of actually passing through one of these. And it is an uneventful journey through the warp gate as time and space are rendered null and void by ancient technology that is beyond mortal understanding. And you find yourself at a considerable distance from where you were only moments ago in the solar system of planet Gwyneth. It is a binary solar system, two suns sort of circling each other as one of them sort of giving off a red light and the other blue. The journey there will take you past several other planets within the system, but they're either both no consequence or uninhabited, or certainly not as populous as Gwyneth. And that takes some time to get there. As you come through the jump gate, though, the patrol ships that's sort of stationed on the other side hail the Bucephalon and give a warning that there are lots of raiders seen around the system lately. We're sure that you can handle yourself, but fair warning, there's been increased pirate activity in the system of late. Keep an eye out. And thankfully, none of my players made pilots or spaceship captains or things like that, so I can completely handwave all the spaceship stuff away. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Back.
It's kind of an all or nothing thing with the spaceship.
Totally intentional.
Yeah.
Instead, we
Yeah.
all made punch people or punch with words people.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the crew do confirm a few minutes later, their sensors pick up there are other enemy ships, but given the Bucephalon's technology and the skill of its crew, we were able to evade them. But it's certainly a lot more than you've come to expect on your journeys. Um, Now, unless there's anything particularly relevant or important any of you would like to do, we will get sort of fast forward through the journey from the jump gate to Gwyneth. But given the timeframes involved, I certainly don't want to deny that time for your characters if there's a scene that you'd like or something that you would like to do.
I'm good to get to the stabbing.
All right, gotcha.
I'm good not to get to the stabbing though. Hopefully there won't be stabbing.
Well, I sure hope they're stabbing.
Well, we're in it now.
One hopes. Um,
One may make it happen.
yeah, I mean, you can always just like be the stabber and get it all started.
Be the stabber you want to see in the universe.
You've just beat me to it.
Oh. As you make your way through the inhospitable void of space, past planets and asteroid belts, and through the light of the binary stars that illuminate this particular portion of the infinite vastness of space, and the descent onto Gwyneth is relatively stable, pretty smooth ride. The crew here seem to know their stuff, especially those new ones you picked up in Bannockburn. Landfirth is one of two of the sort of most populous cities on the planet. It dates back to the Second Republic, centuries old at this point, and it's had many inhabitants, seen wars, rebellions, revolutions, all kinds of things. But it is known as very cultural sort of center of the planet, and is, like I said, one of the more populous cities there on it. You're directed to a smaller, more private portion of the Star Dock there, so that you don't have to use like the commercial berths and things like that. And, guided in by your crew and the control tower, the ship lands, and you are greeted by a foreman and several other laborers who are sort of waiting at the end of the gangplank as you exit the ship.
Yeah, I will walk towards them because, yeah, I just like, hi, hello.
Garage.
Hello. Hi. Yes.
That's our universal greeting. You
Yes.
are AJ.
Hello. Your Highness. Thank you. I'm very sorry that we seem to have had a mix-up. You're come. He seemed visibly flustered. Papers sort of like coming out of a leather ledger, just losing track of. I had it here somewhere. Where's the manifest? But yeah, he seems like he's not quite prepared to talk to you.
It's okay. Everything's fine. I know this was kind of like a last minute switcheroo. We weren't really supposed to land here. We're supposed to land over there, but I need to pick up a package. Was there something left here for me to pick up?
Yes.
Just take a breath. Everything's fine.
Thank you. I didn't want to get this wrong. All right. Yes, I can escort you to where we have your payload, the cargo. What is it again? Yeah, and then there's a second one here. It's been quite some time, a few days, and Hawkwood. I can have both of them delivered onto your ship whenever's convenient.
A second one.
Yes, second one. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Right here, he's, fiddling with his manifests, and inventories, and things like that.
So I was only told that there was one. So I don't. Are they both from me, or maybe there's a lot of Hawkwoods. Like there's a bunch. So maybe this one's not for me. It's for like some other Hawkwood. I don't want to take anybody's mail.
Oh yeah.
Or anything.
No. I'm pretty sure. Look, we can always go look, and if it's not, then he seems so nervous, to be talking to an imperial princess that he's functionally you can't speak to you.
And she just
hello.
doesn't get that. She's just like,
Sure.
I'm just some normal girl, you know?
Right.
Right.
It's like,
But he's sort of like trying to get you to come, follow me. I can show you. Maybe if you see it, you know.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Let me hang tight. I'll be right back. I just need to go get some people, and we will all go together and see what it is.
Yeah, this place is fairly busy. And while you're being sort of given one of the VIP docking berths, there's still like a lot going on here. And whatever sort of systems or procedures they have, this is all staffed by the muster, the merchant guild that sort of controls menial labor and the like. And this is someone who's sort of a mid-ranking functionary. Didn't expect to be told to handle such a VIP such as yourself, and introduce himself as Foreman Edgar. I'm pleased to meet you, all of you. He assumes you're all nobles and fairly high rank.
You bet we
you-
are.
right. And leads you through ramped corridors to sort of like where they've had to stack like all sorts of crates and cargo boxes. So in the mess, we had lots of pirates and smugglers lately. So we've had a lot of. Well, this is all confiscated. I don't need to tell you that. Here we are, and he sort of shows you to what looks like just a warehouse or a room somewhere. You haven't left the Star Dock. It's only a short walk from where you were, and it's it's a bunch of luxury goods. It's casks of wine and rare furs and all sorts of things that you give for these sort of diplomatic exchanges.
Did we I assume we also probably did we bring like people from our ship with us to bring said goods back to the ship?
Yeah, oh yeah. They're busy like unloading like a car or like you brought a lot with you, right? Like you don't travel light. I would assume.
I don't know what that means.
The
Yeah.
elephants.
Takes a month to pack.
Oh,
Um,
Yeah.
and he's like, yeah, really the other one's just right, like two down over here across the hall.
I can, Highness, I can take a look at that if you wanted to make sure that everything here is taken care of.
oh, all right. Yeah. I had told Foreman Edgar that I'm not entirely sure that one's like meant for us because like there are a lot of Hawkwoods and we were only told we were getting this one. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind, if that's okay, it's not
Absolutely.
inconveniencing you to go. I can stay here and make sure everything ends up back on the ship.
I certainly can do that. And she'll give you like a slight bow.
It's like
And
she's like, don't do that.
habits.
Mm.
And we'll approach Foreman Edgar expectantly.
Of course. Well, right this way. I really am sorry for all the fuss.
The less that you take of our time, the better.
Certainly. And when you say that, like he gets visibly more nervous.
Good. That's what I was going for.
It's pretty busy around here. You don't get the impression they do much in a hurry. So you getting to the second warehouse door, opens it up. It's a much smaller space on the other side, more like a storage unit kind of size, like maybe a person could fit in there if they needed to, maybe lay down. But inside there are these crates that have all sorts of security measures on them. Like they don't look like they're just got like luxury goods in them. They're quite well secured, locked countermeasures. Like you're looking at what appears to be like military grade cargo containers that probably have some sort of, if not weapons, then certainly gear or something that is quite quite high tech and quite illegal, like for just civvies to have.
Curious.
When did you say you got this?
He's looking. Uh, it's been here. Well, that's almost 48 hours now. Had an urgent written on it. We need the space, as you can see, and well, I thought somebody would have come and picked it up by now. And you see that he's like, now it's just like you and him, and he's away from Princess. Is it's a little bit chiller, you know. And he just stops cold as he's reading something. He goes, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. And he rushes off, leaving the two rooms open for y'all. And you're left with like the porters who are moving boxes and switching stuff around, loading stuff onto the ship, that kind of thing.
How interesting. The baronet would like to sidle up to Vincia. How's the conversation going with Mr. So-and-so? And why did he leave so quickly?
Well, he read something that seemed to bother him. What concerns me, and she'll just point into the storage crate, is what these are and who dropped them off.
Let's take a look and see if we can discern some clues. Let's lay it on me.
Yeah, let's see. That's what we got.
I also would like to do that sort of thing.
Yeah. Something in like, it looks like certainly like a wits or perception plus observe. Sounds like it'd be a good
Absolutely.
Can
Let's
do.
do one of them. So, I'll walk through this. And this is so it's a perception. Could I possibly also be using my observe skill, or would that be something different?
Oh no, certainly, yeah. Observe is looks like I'm not
So,
seeing something that's like
So
a
I think so.
scrutinize or a,
Yeah.
So if I add them together, it would be a total of 13. I'd roll a 20-sided die and try to roll below that. I have a greater than 50% chance for you two math nerds watching. Just kidding. Ethan. Shout out to Ethan. So let me roll. I'm going to roll in a virtual tabletop. And I failed. I failed awfully.
Oh,
I
yeah.
see and know nothing.
It's not a fumble.
Such is the way of the baronet.
What'd you roll?
A 17.
I just need to get a 10 or lower. Oop, I critically failed with a 20.
Oh no!
Let's take it. It's ours now.
All right, so I get a point for that. I know
Sure do.
the
You missed that
adversary.
it just says danger explosives on the side.
Yeah.
This seems fine. Load it up.
Don't shake. How dangerous could it be?
Yeah. No.
It says contents one princess assassin.
So you set off an alarm, right? Then see it like you're like looking around and you get too
I
close
could
to
probably
something
pick
or
this up,
bump
it's fine.
something, and there's just
Yeah.
like this, just like high pitch, just the worst kind of alarm that goes off from the crates. Like a bunch of people poke their head in there. Like, oh.
Everything okay?
Everything is fine. We were just trying to move these.
Is it fine like when I say something's fine and you say no, it's not that fine, or is it actually fine?
Unclear.
All right, well, let me know.
We have contraband. The kind that'll get us disgraced, arrested, humiliated. And I cannot suffer that.
Right. But it was addressed. Is it still like it was addressed to us? I guess
I'm gonna yell to like some of the porters or whoever's out there. Can someone figure out how to turn this off, please? It's very loud in this small space.
Mhm, mhm. I want to get to that in just a second, but I'm also curious what Warwick is up to as all the commotion's going on. Because
Warwick would have stuck around with Mila, as
okay,
that's the mission. So he's just being very awkward and quiet behind her, just waiting for something to pop off.
okay, so you're sort of on watch, kind of.
Yeah, Vanessa
Yeah.
would call out, Warwick, what does the church say about the possession of forbidden fruits, if you will? the sinful substances, the
What?
What is in these boxes?
If anyone would like to try to disable the
sorry.
alarm, you can try with wits intrusion.
Yeah, I'll try that.
Ooh,
Um,
I would like to try that.
Okay, let's let
I'm
you do
not.
it.
Because
Princess,
Okay.
by all means.
just be like, there has to be an easier way to get these done, and I want to go. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is sort of like as some people are coming to assist, you get there first because you're right there.
all right, yeah, all right. So that's I have to roll under a 12. So let's
Nice.
see.
Or equal to or under. If you equal
Equal
to
to.
as well. Yeah.
So, can you remind me again how we're deciphering the DC? I just want to make sure that
Yes.
I have it right.
I'll
Yeah.
explain.
So what you're doing is you're taking a characteristic and a skill, adding them together, and that gives you your goal number that you roll equal
Okay.
to or under on a d20.
Gotcha.
For
And I
example,
rolled a
this-
16, so I didn't. I probably made it a lot worse.
Yeah. It's like, oh, now it's bad. Change tone. And the foreman and what looks to be the foreman's superior have arrived along with several other porters. And the porter goes over and puts like a copper box with sort of a runic keypad on it, and it does something. It chirps, and the alarm stops. And the superior bows. Forgive me, Your Highness.
Sorry about that.
Yes, there has been a grave mistake, I'm afraid. Our foreman here has misinformed you. This contents of these particular crates go to one of the wild Hawkwoods. That's one of the branches of the family. And please forgive me. Your goods are in the room over there.
Is this person telling a truth?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Very good question.
Are
Yeah.
they
In fact,
telling a truth?
Are
I
Yeah,
they
believe
telling
I
a
am
What
very-
truth?
Are they a
One truth,
truther?
please.
I have multiple perks that make it very difficult to deceive me.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You see all.
Yeah, I think this would be probably like an intuition plus
I believe so.
empathy, maybe, just
Let's
to
go
like
with
read
that.
somebody. Let's go with empathy
plus
for now.
Intuition.
Yeah,
Not
empathy is the ability to
great.
read a person nonverbal.
Yeah. So let's try it.
I believe in you.
I do awfully.
Man,
In
guys should be
fact,
playing
everything
D&D.
they say is the God's honest truth.
Yeah, this seems to be something.
I
all
believe
the
it.
gods.
Because you know how to
Most
read
things.
people.
Yeah, I mean, if he's perfectly willing to show you the manifest as well, like
I'm
he
gonna
sort of like
mimic-
holds it out to you and shows you, like it's all
Do,
crumpled from Edgar's fumbling.
Yeah. Do I know anything about so one of my things is like I know about Hawkwood lore because
Mhm.
that's my family.
Yeah.
Do I know anything specifically like about this branch of the family that would like raise a red flag to me, or is it just like, yep, another member of the family, I'm not gonna pick their mail up?
I mean, it's the branch of the family that this missing sort of cousin Scion is from. But like the Wilds with an E are sort of an up and coming branch of the Hawkwood family, rivals with some of the other branches, but they do well for themselves. They're not like a part of the imperial line, right? But they're loyal and there's one of the dukes governs the
Yeah.
world in the name of the Hawkwoods, that kind of thing.
Oh,
Nothing that would raise a red flag.
knowing that, I'll turn to like to Edgar's superior and be like, if you want, we're on our way to see them. So if you want, we can deliver it for you, if that helps.
Right. That is most generous of you, Your Highness. But I am afraid that if I let this departed, then I would be very, my peers would be very cross with me. It's my obligation to keep it safe and see that it gets into the right hands. Trust me, we, we will deliver it to its rightful owner. And again, I do apologize profusely for this. This is most unlike us. You don't need to make a roll to know that this is not unlike them. They are clearly swamped and are having trouble kind of keeping up with everything right now.
And they'd be like, oh no, you're no reason to apologize. These things happen. Obviously, it's very busy. And you're doing a wonderful job, both of you. So I mean, if that's it, then I guess we'll just go. And I'm gonna like look over to like
your people have
Vencia.
unloaded the luxury goods,
just gonna, like, and
He's just
look to
squinting
Vencia.
at these two
Yeah.
and like, there's something off here and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'll clock
I
that
just
and be like, she
Hmm.
seems suspicious, and then I'm gonna look over to Vanessa just as like a like yeah, we're gonna go. Like, is that correct? Did I do the right?
You did excellent. Remarkable.
So
Could have done it better myself.
Warwick, give me a let's see, perception, observe. Perception is one of the
Okay.
characteristics, and then observe is
Okay.
skills.
Oh no, Warwick sees right through my lies.
Mm,
Perception. Oh, I'm not good at this at all.
I would say, like, I think, like, I'm still learning the rules myself, so adding modifiers and stuff. Like, let's go ahead and give you, because you have been.
I
Oh,
got
never mind then. Okay.
that's
Huzzah!
you.
A 2. You've done
Very
it.
good. Very good. So I get
finally
two,
rolling low comes in clutch for your boy.
I love roll under systems. Just like, give me that one, baby. So that generates 2 victory points for you, which you can use to sort of raise the impact of it if you would like. Let me see where that is.
I think it's on page 20 of
Yeah.
the character book.
Yeah. So it'd be if it was damage, you could spend 2 to raise it by 1 damage.
I like that.
But I think, like, in this case, because it's just like increasing the impact of what it is, there's no resistance that you would have to pay off for this one. So
Okay.
if you'd like to spend them on to just sort of get a better result, you may.
Yeah, you know what? I'll spend one and get a better result. Let's do this.
Yeah. So
Am I spending both of them or just one?
both of them.
Gotcha. All right.
Both of them. So there's a group of people who seem to be really kind of like not like super interested in what's going on, but they've been watching since y'all opened up that second storage room, and like they're trying to not be noticing you, but you notice them noticing you, as it were.
Mhm. I start to pray.
Right.
It was spat out my Coke Zero. Hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah.
But we should be.
Yeah, it seems like a technician or something, maybe an engineer. But there's 3 of them, and then 2 maybe like they don't look like they're porters. Like, they don't really look like they work here, but they look like they're trying to sort of blend in. And for the most part, they're succeeding. But you spotted them out.
Yeah. So you all just see Ward close his eyes, puts his fist together, and God bless my blade, bless my strike. Like, and it's just
Warwick's doing the thing where he says sacred names again.
Then
That
his
usually
squinting
precedes a
eyes
miracle.
turn towards Warwick. Just kind of tilts their head. And also
Nice.
kind of looks around.
Yeah, you can make someone attack if you'd like.
That Jimmy my jammies a little bit too much. Okay. Is it the same perception and observe, or is it something else? In this-
Perception and observe in this case.
Oh dear. Maybe I'll get the same luck. Oh, I did. I needed to get under a 10 and I got
Nice.
a 5.
All right. Similar thing for that. If you'd like to spend any of those to sort of increase the impact of the roll, you may. We're not in
Is-
combat. There's a lot you can do with victory points, like in a round to round kind of thing of like your defense and
Yeah.
overcoming their resistance and stuff. But more loose things like this, you can sort of spend them to get more narrative control. That's how I'm gonna use them.
Okay. I think I, much like Brother Warwick over here, I'll use 2 of those to get something
Okay,
extra.
gotcha. So they've definitely sort of like noticed you seeing them, and they're trying to sort of be nonchalant, move away. The technician though slips up, and both Warwick and Vencia notice an insignia or an icon. Let me see real quick. I don't know if you automatically sort of recognize those things, or if there's maybe something like a heraldry skill or a recognize skill.
Yeah, I know there's like church skills in
Yeah.
academia.
There's like knowledge capabilities. So if it's muster by any means, I was part of the musters for a while.
Mhm.
So I would recognize that. But I don't think anything.
I've
This
got
is not-
military weapons, brother battle lore, and religion lore.
Right. So even with all of that, this is an insignia that those particular backgrounds does not you don't recognize it because of that background.
Okay.
You recognize it enough sort of. It's definitely a noble house, but not one of the big 5. There's a plethora of minor houses and splinters, factions, things like that amongst the nobility. So it seems like one of those, but just the way they're dressed, the way they seem at ease around high technology that they both have, like they've got gadgets, sensors, and things like that on them. That is a notable fact.
After Ward gets done praying, he's going to start to walk in their direction and say, "Life is filled with many interesting ways to meet the Lord. I feel your interest in a very direct one."
So you're approaching them, like trying to engage, like talk to them.
Yes.
At the same time, I'm going to Mila and kind of turning to make sure that I'm mostly between them and Mila. But like turning to face her and say, "We need to move somewhere else."
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And then I'll look over to the baronet and say, "You probably will want to come with us as well." And I'll just kind of like, hopefully to the point where Vanessa can see, just kind of like motion with my eyes towards where Warwick is going to see if Vanessa can also see what's going on without trying to alarm Her Highness.
Right.
Everything needs to be nice.
I'll,
Do I seem
close.
like an excitable type?
I'll stick close to the good brother.
Okay. All right.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. Just a second. I'll set this up.
He's strong.
So to sort of like reinforce where we're at here. So you guys are currently at the moment in sort of a cramped access corridor that's lined with both crates and boxes and the like of confiscated goods, and then interspersed with these sort of like garage doors type doorways that lead into these storage rooms. Warwick and Vencia saw these 3 individuals, one technician or engineer, and then 2 what appear to be porters, but they are not wearing the livery of the rest of the Stardock staff. Basically from the direction you came from, so where the spaceships are, and they are in an open space sort of at the entrance to this corridor that you're currently in. Does that make sense? Any confusion about sort of the space here? Awesome. So because you're kind of like trying to come at them, they notice you see them, they're trying to get away. It's not a full-on chase yet, but they are attempting to sort of not engage into you. They don't want to be approached. And And so I think what I'd like for us to do is to enter initiative, simply because sort of the timing and the like is pretty precise here.
Awesome. Okay,
right.
so
Fading Suns uses a version of essentially popcorn initiative to keep things sort of unpredictable and moving fast and the like. I am less familiar with popcorn initiative just as a technique than perhaps I'd like to be. So we'll see how it goes. Essentially, if any character, any member of the troop has an edge or some sort of advantage or something from a perk or a trait that helps them move fast or react quickly, that essentially ensures they go first, unless they are going head to head with someone who has a similar perk or trait. And then there are other ways that, say, a noble can butt in to initiative to basically say, I'm going to go next. Battle Brother, I believe, has a similar ability to basically say, regardless what happens now, I am going next. And then if you guys force me to use all of my NPCs at the very end of the turn, the next time I get to interrupt you. So I think in this case, Warwick definitely has the initiative and will go first in this.
Yeah, the only perk that I have that I think might be involved in this is Battle Sense.
Mhm.
Which says I can add my endurance or will ranks to my surge rating. Additionally, I gain 1 bonus surge that can be used per act. Gonna have to ask, does anybody know the surges off top, or I can look it up?
Not
real
off the
quick?
top of my head. I know
Okay.
our entire sort of session will be 1 act.
All right.
I
Wait.
used to have it memorized.
Like the whole.
Yeah,
maybe-
I had it written on the character sheet, but it didn't save, so I was like, all right.
Yeah, yeah.
So in that case,
You do know this. I'll say this: they do not appear to be armed. They don't look like they're concealing weapons or anything, and they don't look like they've got fight in them.
yeah. Oh, okay. That's cool because he has not unsheathed his sword yet. Which in my head is a big deal for him. His rule is if he unsheathes the blade, something has to die. So he's just going to keep walking. And he says, if your purpose here is violence, then running and delaying it will only waste both of our time. I have no problem seeing my god today. I hope that you feel the same. He's just gonna wait to see if that's gonna coax them to attacking.
So and Vincia is you're like right there too, right? Or is that
The
Vanessa?
baronet is
Baronet,
right there. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm next to the princess.
Princess.
I would very much now this is more of an influence maneuver, but I want to attempt to deceive them. So my perk that I would lead into is the Master of Deception.
Okay.
They're just a little nervous, but we're on their side.
Okay.
So in fact I want to call out to them very strikingly, catch them a little off guard, and invite them a tad bit closer if possible.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. So that sounds like you're trying to influence them.
Definitely, and I get a bonus to it.
It's gonna be what, a presence?
So.
Presence plus charm is what it sounds like.
A pleasant presence.
Presence. The chalice from the palace. Presence plus charm plus 2. So please, Daisy dice, whatever dice I'm rolling today, I smooch you with the softest and kindest of lips.
We're playing.
And
Let's go. Let's
roll
go.
low,
Single
roll
number.
true.
Let's go.
Yay!
Yay!
Succeeded.
Nice.
Oh boys!
Oh yeah.
It's the It Girl. Come over.
Oh,
Be nice.
yeah. The 2 porters sort of stop. The technician is sort of the last to sort of stop and turn. They seem like, they just have they have guilty looks on their face, just like we're not here to, we're just the alarm, and really sorry, we don't want any trouble. And they're clearly eyeing Warwick's sword.
In order to avoid trouble. I think you need to explain maybe why you were doing a little look-see-loo over there. It'll be our secret. I won't tell.
Oh.
I'm not a big fan of them.
Yeah.
And listen, it's a
Love
web of
this.
lies, half truths, half full, half empty.
Yeah.
I need a little more information why you were owl eyes watching the beautiful lady over there and her strong companion.
Yeah. We're just, like, we heard the alarm of, like, it's not, I don't know who she is. Like, I don't, does it matter? Like, we don't know. Sure.
What do
And,
you know?
Well,
I'll tell you what I know if you tell me what you know.
I mean,
I know a lot.
they seem confused by like which like about the you like they're kind of like, what is it that you
What do you
what
know
are you
about
hinting at that you would like to know
what
more
do you
about?
know about that alarm and what are the consequences?
Mm. I
Why are
mean,
so many people nervous about the good lady?
I've never
I'm
heard anything
sorry,
like it.
Highness.
Hmm. Is that, is she important? I'm not sure. We just know that, we really busy around here. Lots of, we came looking, we had our ship impounded, and we're looking for our stuff, and we didn't mean to be any trouble, or anything like that.
So, ideally for you, what outcome would be most beneficial for you today in this instant?
I mean, I
Answer quickly before I have you arrested.
that nothing would happen to us. He's like freaked out with that. Like, what would you like to have happen to you?
I know. I'm awful. Sorry. Mean girl is mean.
I don't want anything. We haven't done anything wrong. We're just looking. And so far, you've been talking like one of the
something
porters.
wrong. It's inappropriate and impolite to leer at a lady.
Oh, certainly. We're very sorry. We're very.
Baronet, if I may,
You may.
the insignia. Explain it. And I point to where I saw it on one of the guys' insignia slip.
Mhm. And at this point, you sort of pointed out, and the technician comes forward, and they're sort of like, I am, must know, I am a member of House Shellit's name. And in a minute she says that, or they say that, like, it makes sense. House Shillit is a fairly minor house. They were a member of the Kurgan Caliphate, but sided with the Empire. They have an affinity for technology and don't really have a lot of cultural taboos against it, but they're not a lot of them, and they're not particularly like well off. But they are associated with sort of House Azat, and like, I don't always advertise my allegiance to my house, as when I travel. There's not a lot of uh, trust for us, and to be honest, my house is. I don't have a strong allegiance to them because we are very. We do not have a lot, and we have to make our own way in the galaxy. We sort of like get a hint of pride and sort of like, you don't have to do this. Like, you don't have to call us out like that kind of vibe from this technician.
Be blessed. And I walk away.
Yeah.
You handled that excellently, brother.
I was trained to. And keep walking.
Call.
I'm so sorry.
Stoic man. I love it. We write poems about Brother War. We never read them.
Yeah, right.
They're just kept in the journal.
Any is there anything else? Are we free to go?
You may go now.
Thank you. And they, bow and GTFO.
I would.
Yeah, yeah. It's it's sometime during all this that the one of the ship's crew just approaches me, like all the cargo's loaded up onto the transports and ready to leave whenever you are.
I'm gonna look to Vencia with a look that's like, you good?
I'm gonna look kind of over to where I assume this situation with Brother Warwick and everyone is wrapping up, and seeing that there isn't any sort of like heavy altercation happening, I think she'll just nod.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
it
look
seems
back
like
to-
whatever moment of tension there was is dissipated, and the rest of the dock workers are going about their day, and the alarm's not going off anymore. They locked the second room up. It's kind of the moment is seems to have passed. The transport you brought with you is a big sort of like flying affair, like a flying truck almost, kind of that will get you to where you're going, which is kind of out in the middle of nowhere, fairly quickly.
All right, then let's go.
All right, excellent. So we will end the scene there. So you leave the Landfirth Star Dock, the big city behind you. You're in sort of like a flying car truck thing with all the luxury goods loaded up, and your personal assistants, people that dress you and help you out with your things. Assuming as an imperial princess, you travel with like 30 something people that just like wait on you hand and foot.
And I've
Unless
probably
you specifically ditched them.
I've probably by this point I feel like I've probably ditched a decent amount of them. But I think like the people who are left, it's just I'm like, no, like you can leave, and they're like, no, I can't.
What would we do? Yeah.
Because it's like, no, I can get dressed myself. They're like, can you just leave me alone?
They'll have to go dress some other noble sometime.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yes, they got the transport. That's true. The baronet is here.
Yeah, they can all. I'll be like, you can just go hang out with Vanessa.
Yeah, I can't. But then they don't realize that they're getting fired.
Fading Sun's influencer, Vanessa
Right.
Rousseau, the baronet.
Yeah. Baronet Vanessa will put them to good use. But you leave the city behind and head out into the hinterland of this continent that you're on. Gwyneth's pretty temperate world, lots of sort of forests and limestone islands. Kind of the whole place is sort of riddled with these tunnels and caves, and really a lot of sort of almost tourism almost for what passes for it in the empire to this place. But the particular quote unquote barbarian allies that you are headed to give these gifts to really do live out in the middle of nowhere. And once you leave the the metropolis of Landfirth behind, the technology level quickly drops off to pre-industrial levels. Most people out here, they've never seen a spaceship. They've never seen a flying transport. Most of them, live their lives of just sort of subsistence farmers, woodcutters, charcoal burners, things like that. Majority of the populace of Gwyneth lives that way. You fly over various villages and townships and the like, each one of them sort of getting smaller and smaller and more scattered out as you make your way out here to Lady Vilma's manor. Now, Lady Vilma is a Voldrok, part of the Voldrok space nation. This is the sort of group of lost worlders and other human diaspora that that the emperor is attempting to bring into the fold through marriage, as well as sort of an enticements. And look, we don't have to be enemies anymore. We can be friends and allies if you play nice, kind of arrangements. And as you land close to sunset, the the staff of the manor come out to the transport and in helping you unload, but you're going to be roughing it while you stay out here. For the most part, there's this is a culture and a people that are very rustic, very connected to nature, and are really only in the process of sort of uh, converting from what members of the empire would think of as pagan or sort of barbarous religious beliefs into the church of the Pan Creator. Um, and so Lady Vilma welcomes you, and you can see that there are other Hawkwood representatives here, of the wild branch of the Hawkwoods, as well as the staff and personal retinue of Lady Vilma herself. And this was the place, presumably, where your cousin was staying before went missing.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So I assume, like, have we unloaded like all of unloading all of the gifts and such?
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted for a second. Yeah, I'll finish sort of setting up the scene. Yeah, your staff are mostly unloading everything, as well as those from the manor. But you're sort of like landed a good distance away, sort of an empty meadow from it. So it's a bit of a walk to get to the manor itself, but the land is clear. It's not a difficult walk or anything like that. And you're eventually sort of greeted halfway by the lady of the manor herself, and her entourage sort of light the way with these lanterns that they have. And really, you just have a moment to yourselves before the welcoming party gets to you. So if there's anything that you wanted to do or prepare yourself, now would be the time.
Just think I'm going to be standing fairly close to where Mila is.
Mhm.
And also kind of tracking where Warwick is and making sure that we're kind of like got all bases covered.
I'd be right next to you if you're next to me. Like if you're on
Cool,
the left, I'm on the right.
Fantastic. Excellent. Delicious.
Very good. Very good. All right. Let's see something real quick. All right.
Yeah. Mila's probably like a little uncomfortable because like she's used to like noble court things because like that's been most of her life, but like the past little while she's just been like on her own, like doing the free spirit thing or whatever, and now it's like, oh, now I have to do like family court stuff again. How do I interact with people as a representative of my family?
Where do I put my hands?
Yeah.
What do I do?
What do I do? Yeah. This is the gravity of the situation kind of hits Mila in that moment.
It's like, oh shit.
Yeah. And to give a bit sort of situate the Lady Vilma in context, like these are the Voldrok are enemies of the Empire. They raid, they are pirates. They're they have a reputation of just being uncouth and honorless and violent, and so like there are a lot of stereotypes and sort of preconceptions about them. And she looks the part, like she dresses like in furs and leathers and the like. She looks like she's at a central casting almost for a barbarian warlord kind of look. And
I love her.
she's like
She's
tall,
great.
she's tall,
Yes,
broad-shouldered, like clearly is not fucking around,
Well,
Uh,
okay.
yeah. And so, she strides up there with it looks like there are 4 others in her entourage, in addition to the manor staff. There is a priest who wears sort of the robes and priestly vestments of a confessor, someone who's sort of like a personal priest to a household. There is a man in armor, sort of a weathered look to him. Armor's a bit archaic, not high tech at all. It was like sort of a plate and chain kind of affair, but the way he moves in it, the sword at his hip, seems like he knows what he's doing. And then there is another noble dressed in sort of fine silks and ermine and brushed velvet and the like, with the hawkwood heraldry on him and colors. You recognize him as a member of the wild branch of the Hawkwoods, but unless you have any particular reason why you might know who he is, he's somebody in the family kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to like straighten my clothes and just be like, oh God.
Yeah.
Just like, be like, all right. Like,
Yeah, is there an etiquette? Let's see. I think I saw impress.
There is impress.
Oh
There is
God.
impress sounds like
Press.
impress sounds like what we might be looking for here. Just be impressed, probably presence and
Presence.
impress. Yeah.
God. Okay.
Is there a way to assist
Bless
a
this
roll?
mess.
Well, let's
yeah,
let's talk about it too.
Yeah, let's
So,
talk through.
under capabilities, like I have court customs and I have knowledge of Hawkwoods and things
Yeah,
like that.
I have those
Yeah.
two. I have
Oh,
core
yeah, yeah.
customs. I have Hawkwood lore.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's take a little look see at the
I have-
booksy.
I have my noble title.
I'm going. Yeah, we're nobles. We've no customs. So, customs lore. The question is, where does the capabilities come in?
There's
Oh,
a using
this-
capabilities on page 106 of the
Yeah.
PDF.
Ooh, let's jump there and see what happens. So capabilities, using capabilities, the GM determines if a given role is specific or obscure enough to require capabilities. So the need for the capability should be obvious, such as customs, court, etc. If the GM is unsure, they should waive the requirement. And then if essentially a roll would be made, so I believe you would determine the type of roll that would be made, Jim,
Mhm.
and then but you might require, in order for assistance to be made, for special knowledge to be in. For example, if you felt it wasn't necessary, maybe Vincia could assist as well. But maybe you feel it is necessary. Maybe the Baronet can assist because she is also trained.
I think this is definitely a situation where the Baronet Vanessa it would be more of an asset than Vincia.
Mhm.
So yeah, I definitely would need some kind of special knowledge or training to sort of
Okay.
recognize or know who's who in this situation. Like, was Mila paying attention in in her education and upbringing of
Yeah.
like, this is what all of the very permutations of heraldry or throughout the
Mhm.
family mean, that kind of thing.
And I think the type of benefit we might see is in other systems. It's called like advantage. It's you roll
Favorable or
to
unfavorable, yeah.
favored rolls.
Favored roles, yeah.
So Mila would get a favored roll. As
Yeah.
The Baronet. So remember, as if you're walking a tightrope, just lean back slightly.
Yeah, let's do that. So it is essentially, if you're familiar with the 5th edition of the World's fantasy role playing, whatever, roll 2 dice, take the best result.
Shout out to Ulysses because they do the
Absolutely.
official German translation.
Woo!
There you go.
Yeah. So impress and presence for me is an 11. All right. God, bless this mess. Okay.
Yeah.
You get 2.
Yeah.
Take that.
Oh,
Ooh,
they were both so
that's
good.
That's-
Oh, thunder.
Oh. yeah.
God. So
got all of our
4 is
bad-
the better one.
Got all of
We
our
got all-
bad rolling out at the beginning where it didn't have any narrative like consequence.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
true.
So we got a 6 and a 4. Actually, 6 is the better one. It's sort of Price is Right rules. You want to roll
okay.
under, but
Closest
as
to the
high, as close to your cap as you can without going over.
Cool.
So yeah, that leaves you with 6 victory points. And you've impressed them with your poise and regal bearing. And yeah, it does come back to you. Pretty sure that Hawkwood's name is Lord Ian, a sort of relative of the Duke, who governs the planet, but not like next in line to inherit it or anything. And now that you think about it, if that's Ian, then Valentin, your cousin, that's his dad or older brother, maybe. So it's like starting to fall into to place. Like
I've probably seen so many Hawkwood family trees in my life. I'm just like,
there's like
which one is
thousands of
it?
y'all.
It's like,
Exactly. And so yeah, you get there, you get back in your sort of like your role as as an imperial highness, as a princess, and they seem suitably impressed.
yeah.
There's what's that?
I say Lady Vilma is her
Yeah.
name.
Vilma. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably just greet them both by name because I remembered
Yeah, absolutely.
their names.
Thank you very much. We hope that your journey here was uneventful and refreshing, but even so, you must be tired. Please enjoy the hospitality of my humble manor. And Lady Vilma is speaking to you directly in this exchange.
Yes, of course. We're so grateful for you to be opening your doors to us.
You humble me with your kind words. Please follow me. And she doesn't talk like a barbarian warlord.
Yeah.
She seems fairly downright civilized, you might say. But yeah, they help you with your baggage and escort you towards the manor. And this manor itself is large, sort of like a wooden building with large peaked roof. It's like I said, everything about this place sort of is very much in the manner of what the imperial aristocracy kind of thinks of when they think of a rural country sort of nobility. The place smells like a farm because it is a farm. You can sort of see even in the setting sun here, sort of like fields and livestock pens and all the like, as they're sort of like tucked into the folds and of the land here. And inside, it's nice and warm, has sort of a cozy, sort of rustic feel to it, straw on the floor, and fresh straw at that. Even a nice fire in the great hall burning, and smells of something pleasant but simple coming from a kitchen somewhere in the back of the building. And then this sort of thing, you've probably done this dozens, if not hundreds of times in your life, being hosted by another aristocrat, and for the most part your people handle the arrangements of putting your bags away and the like.
As just a narrative aside, I think this is much closer to how Vencia grew up. Is this kind of very from like just like from a noble perspective looking down, a very simple kind of livelihood.
Yeah.
And I think she has not been back to that that world, that kind of living in a very long time. So if you knew Vencia, you would see that they are uncomfortable, but they are trying very hard not to show it at all.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Vanessa detects.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. No, you can read people like nothing. Yeah.
You're getting strong Vincia vibes from the Man-at-Arms as well, of someone who's like made themselves useful to nobility and risen up because of it, but was otherwise sort of humble birth. And your host bids you to relax, enjoy yourself, and this evening we will dine, and then you'll be off to your quarters. Tomorrow we will exchange gifts and feast, but you must be wary. I do not want to keep you up too late.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yep. So she's the Lady Vilma is essentially offering, like, we'll have some dinner, get to know each other, but like the real sort of event takes place tomorrow in the afternoon, like the diplomatic ceremony, exchange of gifts, that kind of thing.
Right.
But this evening will be a more casual affair, pretty much, or dinner will be less than an hour. You're allowed to go change. They show you around the place, but it's like, compared to the imperial court, this place has like no rules. Like there's just like, hey, come and go as you like. There's the kitchen, you know, like that
You
sort of thing.
see food, you take the food.
Yeah, I
Our
think
food is your food.
like Mila is like, this is different for her, but like in a way that she likes, where it's like, yeah, like I don't need to worry about like if I'm using the right fork or anything like that. But I think there's like a moment where she like turns to Vanessa. It's just like, should I change for dinner? Like,
You
what?
should. Mila, you are a princess at all times. It doesn't matter what planet. Remember, you don't represent the wild Hawkwoods. You represent the highest of Hawkwoods. You are to be an emblem for them to aspire to. And I know you don't have to worry about the proper fork. I'm keeping a log, and we will offer notes at the end of dinner. They'll be gentle.
They never are.
Well,
Hmm.
experience the harsh teacher. I'm sorry.
Orc is just gonna walk by a table, take a piece of bread and some water, and just start eating it.
Oh yeah. They start bringing out big. They plates are made of bread. Come on.
Bread bowls all around. It's a Panera.
Yeah,
Welcome to the planet Panera.
We're living on the planet Panera right now.
Right. Yeah. So everybody gets settled. They start bringing out food, and it really does sort of seem like this will be a very, very casual evening. But in the midst of all the activity, Lordian does approach Mila and sort of bows and, Your Highness, I can't tell you how pleased I am that you were here. The actions of my nephew are terrible. They brought a great dishonor upon our house. And he seems like legit angry, like whatever he talks about. Like, and you're coming here to repair the situation. We're in your debt. Thank you.
Oh, it's no trouble at all. It's what I'm here for. We were heading this way anyway, so it's really not out of the way. Do you know where he's gone?
It's been more than a week since I've seen him, and he was acting strangely before that. So. But I confess I only arrived after he had left and have not been able to get much out of the staff here. And he seems like he's had enough of this place, and is just ready to wash his hands of it.
Oh, so did you ask, like, the staff here? Are there any other family members around that perhaps he may have talked to, said where he was going, anything like that?
Yeah. Perhaps I questioned a lot of them, but they don't seem to know much. Yeah, well, his valet, his assistant somewhere around here, Pavel something. He fairly tight-lipped himself. Wouldn't say much. I think they're hiding something. Definitely hiding something. Well, no matter, I hope that Your Highness will be able to set the matter right, and I can take care of my nephew. He won't get the better of me.
Oh, well, I mean, I can try talking to some people. I'm pretty good at it. And my mother is very concerned that he's missing. So
He doesn't like
love
that news at all. Just his
So
eyebrow furrows.
that was intentional. So I'd love to be able to let her know that he's okay. She's very worried that he might be in danger. So we want to make sure that the family is safe and happy and secure. So Yeah.
Of course.
If you could just point me in the direction of his valet, and maybe I can talk to him.
Yes, as you wish. And he, gestures, the servants' quarters, so that way I'm sure that you'll be able to find him with no trouble at all.
Thank you.
Yes. And he sort of like gives introduces himself to the Baronet Vanessa, you know, a nod to the battle brother and Vitsia. But his general demeanor since he's gotten inside, this guy is like done with this place, and clearly like had it with the mess that his nephews caused.
Mm-hmm. I think once he has like departed, I'm gonna like lean over to Vencia, who I'm sure is sitting next to me.
Mhm.
Just be like, so do you want to go like look around the servants' quarters and find this person and ask them questions?
Oh, absolutely.
That-
Yeah, I think Vencia will excuse themselves from the table at that moment, because they were just uncomfy up in this place. They didn't like it. They didn't want to be here. And I think we'll perhaps look to Warwick, and just kind of give like an eyebrow raise of like, you want to go with me? You know, with that eye talk that they do.
like one of the
Orc is going to scoot his chair back like it is going to do that loud thing.
everyone stops.
Would seem that I need to dismiss myself. He's just going to look at it. See? Oh my
Subtle.
This
Oh.
is the best.
And I'm gonna
Leave the nobles to do their noble thing, and we'll go do the dirty work.
Yeah.
Mila's definitely looking after be like, that's so much better than any of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're about to start talking about like how much livestock that they're able to produce.
Suffering. I'm just like,
Real scintillating conversation.
I imagine Vanessa would just go like straight up like Mrs. Peacock from Clue, where it's like, I had let the conversation go, and the soup is delightful. Oh,
God,
really?
you are
Live of the
speaking my
party.
language. Perhaps they don't want to get acquainted with you.
Oh.
I'm just like, I'm looking after. I'm gonna like look at Vanessa and be like, it would be bad if I left, right? Like if I just like excused myself for just like a quick second, that would be bad.
I'll cover for you.
Thank you.
I'll let them know that you. I'll explain that.
I'm just very
when it comes-
tired.
You need your dessert outfit.
That means I have
Yeah.
to change it.
No. And if you don't return again, it's because they did something wrong, and I'll tell them what they did. Don't worry, I'll protect your reputation.
Don't get anybody in trouble. Okay, bye. And I'm just gonna like get up and just like scurry after in the direction that Vencia and Warwick went. Don't
So
be
everything Vencia
suspicious.
didn't want to
Don't
happen.
be suspicious.
Right.
Don't be suspicious.
More subtlety. Yeah.
I can be
So
very
then-
subtle.
Yeah, I'm convinced. Three of you then make your way back to the servants' quarters, and they're busy. Guests coming in. Nobody's loafing around or anything at this hour. And someone stops as they see you come in. Like, can we help you? Your rooms are back the other way. Please, like they think you just lost your way, kind of thing.
We're looking for somebody.
Oh, yes.
I don't know his name, but
Excuse me, Highness. His name is Pavel, I believe.
Oh, Pavel. Yes, yes, and they look around, and someone goes around a corner. And Pavel, it takes a minute or two. This, sort of middle-aged, sort of, so he's, there's he helps nobles get dressed. That's sort of it's like a personal, like helps them bathe, get their clothes on. He's just like a personal servant kind of thing. But he has like a, um, sort of a no nonsense, sort of takes it seriously kind of demeanor to him. And it's like, "Well, yeah, yes, can I help you?"
I hope so. Hi, I'm Mila, and yep. I was wondering if maybe you could I'm looking for my cousin.
Valentin, yes.
Yes. And I was just hoping that maybe you knew where he may have gone off to.
Yes, I spoke with Lord Ian, questioned me. I told him what I knew. I'll tell you the same. I served young Valentin quite honorably to the best of my ability, and he was a good master. Never crossed with me or no harsh words, and some quiet, and was always quiet, but grew quieter and more discontent. He was here, and like the longer he goes on, the more he sort of like starts to kind of clam up and gets to a point where he's like, um, it's been some time. I don't recall exactly how long since I've seen him, and honestly, I don't. It's been so busy the last few days. I can't
Yeah.
recall when I actually last saw him.
Oh, okay. Listen, you can just like take a deep breath and then like let it out real slow. Because like I'm not here to interrogate you or anything. You're not in trouble. I'm just worried about my cousin. I just want to make sure he's okay. So like it would be a really big help. Like Lord Ian, like he's fine. He's just like a little cold and detached.
Yes.
But like we're just having a conversation. Like I'm just here to find my cousin. So like if there's anything like you might not have told him because he was being like kind of a jerk,
Yes.
you could tell me.
Beg your
instead.
pardon. It is not within me to speak against my betters, and I am afraid if I continued and spoke more truthfully, that uh, I would be dishonoring my good name. And like, I mean, I think maybe Vincia, you have a bit of insight. Like, this is a person who's got to live here. If he's a snitch, then people are going to know his honor is on the line. Like, even though he's just a servant, right? So, yeah.
I think then Vencia would just very gently place a hand on Mila's shoulder and say, "This might not be the place for diplomatic presence." And then I'll look to Pavel and say, "This isn't an interrogation, but I would like to speak with you in private."
Of course.
Oh, um, oh, okay. I guess I'll go back to dinner.
I'll turn back towards Warwick and say, "I'm sure Warwick can make sure that you get to where you need to go."
Oh, I know the
Thank
way.
you.
It was just like 2 hallways.
Mm,
No,
no.
no.
No. Okay.
I'm looking at this guy.
Mhm.
You said the words, if you were to speak the truth, would make life difficult for you because of your betters.
That is correct. Yes.
So you would tell us lies.
I would not say anything. It is not within me to lie. or not besmirch my name, just to avoid the same. I will simply not say anything as I did with Lord Hawkwood.
Then I will ask you a question that will cost you nothing, and you will give us the answer, and then we'll be on our way. Do you have any information in regards to Mila's cousin that would help us locate him?
I believe so.
Would you tell one of us in private, and just kind of like gesturing towards Warwick and myself?
If I had a reassurance that my honor would be satisfied, yes.
I
And
can
like,
assure that. if
like
you
from
need
an
anything.
out of game perspective, he's essentially like he's witnessed something that is relevant, but
Yeah.
he did it in the context of being a servant to this noble, and to
Yeah.
say anything about it would be a huge breach of a lot of customs, right? So
I know this.
gotcha.
I
Okay,
can
yes,
talk.
you
I
got
can
it.
relate.
Get it. Okay, get him to us. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Relatable
I'm gonna
content.
relatable content right here.
And Warwick is going to start to pray
Mhm.
and then say, "It is well known that confessions taken by the universal truth are held in confidence.
He
I will take your
seems new to this, but he trusts you.
I will take your confession and only act on recovering the lost person. I will not give out information as to how I acquired the knowledge that I will use. And if anyone has any issues with this, they can take it up to the church. You will be absolved."
It's kind of looking between Warwick and Vencia. Like, is is this, are you like kind of like trying to figure out, are you all on the level, or can he in fact like confide and trust that his reputation essentially is going to be intact afterwards? He's looking for some sort of reassurance from um I think maybe Vencia, because Vencia is not like a renowned
An
elite
affiliated
religious warrior.
person.
Yeah, like
I'm
but
just trying to get mine.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I think I will approach him and speak in like a lower tone, and perhaps Mila or Warwick could hear, but the intention is to make sure that none of the other like staff around here.
yeah.
And we'll say, I know what it is like to witness things that you are not allowed to speak of. I also know what it is like to carry that burden alone. I would wish to alleviate you of that. And I'll take a step back.
Is it I will confess then.
Mila, Vencia, leave the room.
Good night.
I will nod to Pavel and then turn so that he doesn't see me, and I will stare daggers at Warwick. And like just have a moment, just like a very brief moment there, and then kind of gently guide Mila out of the room.
Okay.
Take the confession.
Yeah, so it's the two,
Yeah,
it's
I think
Warwick
that
and Pavel. He's like he's not like nervous, but he's clearly like, this is a big, he understands the gravity of the situation that he's in.
Yeah.
How does how does one confess? I don't.
This is generally where you say, "Forgive me, brother, for I have sinned," and then you will tell me of your sin. I will then give you a proper penance.
Very well. But forgive me, brother. I have sinned. I have kept a secret that could have harmed my mistress and her endeavors. Some weeks ago, I witnessed my master Valentin Hawkwood meeting with someone I did not recognize when we were in the town, next town over. Mm, It did not seem like an honorable meeting, if you catch my meaning. I don't know much. I know very little, but I know what it looks like to be underhanded, and I know what it looks like to want what you're doing kept secret. They gave him something. He had been acting strange before then. I'd hear him muttering about deserved or seemed bitter. But I'd never seen the people that he met with before. There were three of them. And then one of them had well, they had a great deal of devices and things, artifacts. I don't know what they do, but they seemed like they were comfortable around them. After that, Valentin was very distant and did not call on me often. And then the last time that he did not speak to me, but he had me pack his things and he left without saying anything to anyone. That was earlier, 5 days ago, I think, maybe more.
I see. Your penance will be to remain silent for the next 2 hours. Go and sin no more.
Thank you. He
For the
seemed
next 2
yeah.
hours. Like,
Yeah.
see, I like a serious glare on his face. Then Work's gonna get up and go find Vinci and Mila.
All right.
I'd like to imagine that Vencia didn't really take them too terribly far. Like, she wanted to wait for Warwick to get out and make sure that Warwick was not, covered in blood or something like that.
I love that she doesn't know how it
Valid
works.
concern.
Oh, yeah.
He as soon as he sees them, he goes, I have what we need.
Great. Perfect. Yeah. So back to dinner, or do we go now and act on? Well, we should get Vanessa and then investigate.
Yes. Let us retrieve Vanessa.
I think that's when Vanessa would just enter the scene.
I have a bad habit of doing that. It's just appear.
Blink out of the shadows. Just taking a turn about the room.
Right, because it's leg day.
Leg day. Every day's leg day. Gotta do that hill running.
All right. So you're all sort of in probably like one of your rooms talking about this.
He's not going to recount the confession, as that is against the rules. He will point the investigation to where it needs to go based on the information provided. So first he's going to suggest reviewing the area where the drop was made, or where the illicit meeting was made, or was held. He will say, when he's drawing this plan up, I know of a conspiracy, and the core locations of the conspiracy are here, and that's where the meeting occurred. Where he started acting funny, and where he left without saying anything to anybody. So those 3 locations. That sound about right? This is Noir, because work is smart. Noir's but yeah, so that's what he's going to suggest. Now you're all more than welcome to press him for the confession. Maybe there's maybe
I
somebody
think-
could think of a roundabout.
Loophole. Find the loophole.
Fine.
Yeah.
Mila doesn't care about the details. She's like, investigation. We're going on an adventure.
Yeah.
I'm going on an adventure, Charlie.
Adventure. I'm gonna put on my adventuring outfit. Let's go.
You have a dessert outfit and an adventuring outfit. I'll never understand.
Well, I mean, if you're wearing an outfit and eating dessert, every outfit is a dessert outfit. Which I guess by that logic, if you're wearing an outfit and going on an adventure, then every outfit is an adventure outfit.
That makes sense.
Interesting.
I only have this outfit.
Do you need more outfits? We can
No.
get you more outfits.
No.
I wouldn't mind.
So is Warwick sort of like surreptitiously revealing sort of what the impact maybe of what he knows and suggesting
Yes.
a course of action.
So
And-
yeah.
Okay.
So it's like if the confession was I saw somebody get shot in this alley, he would just go, "We need to go to that alley." He won't
Gotcha.
tell
Yeah.
them.
That makes okay. No.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. What does everybody think of that?
We're going on an adventure.
Going on an adventure,
That's where we're
Charlie.
headed.
Mhm. I don't think Venti will say anything like in this current moment, but does make a mental note to like perhaps one-on-one sidebar with Warwick, maybe in a friendly way, but maybe not, to get more information out of him.
That's what I was waiting for. 'Cause I know
50-50
it's-
chance of friendship.
No, zero chance of friendship.
Friend-
but might be violence.
Always
There might
on
be
the
Listen,
table.
I'm not above punching someone in the church. I don't care. I do what I gotta do to get things done. And if you're withholding information, I'm gonna do what I need to do to get it out of you.
Hang Friar Tuck, man of the church.
The sequel to There Will Be Blood. There may be violence.
There may be violence.
May God bless your attempt.
Mm. I don't need the help.
Yeah. So then is then the plan that you would like leave immediately after this gift giving ceremony, or you would try to do something before then?
Yeah, like
Ooh.
probably, yeah. The earliest that we could sneak away and have it not be a
Noted.
thing
Right.
that
right,
is
not make things
incredibly
worse.
noticed.
Right.
Mhm.
Because I'm sure Mila's got people watching her because there's a princess here, which is
Sure.
a pain in the ass for covert operations.
Absolutely.
Just
Absolutely.
gonna go for a walk.
Who brought the princess on the spy man?
All right then. So
I mean, disguise.
so we had you say Mila's taking a little walk, sort of an evening stroll.
No, I said that's gonna be like the cover when we're
Oh, I
like
see.
going
Okay,
on
the
this
cover.
mission. It's gonna be
Gotcha.
like, I just want to
Just
go
the
and
cover.
see the town.
Why not? Sure. Excellent. In that case, I think here is a good place to close for today's session, as the our troop attempts to root out some sort of conspiracy of some type, while still helping the serving staff maintain their honor and standing amongst their peers. Wonderful session. Absolutely
Yes.
love playing with you guys and the characters that you have made as we explore this really cool and very detailed setting. And we hope everybody out there enjoyed our adventure here today, the first act in this drama that we have for these fading suns. Yeah. Grant, did I forget anything? Or sorry, Daisy?
No. So why don't we go around? Oh, you. I've done it 3 or 4 times myself in the broadcast, so we're all good here. Why don't we go around, let everyone know where we can find each other online? For those of you who are watching this, we're in the middle of a Ulisses Spiele crowdfunding campaign. After the show, I'm sure Daisy and Jim will talk more about playing the game and how it works. But why don't we go around and meet our cast and crew, and we'll go Jim, Maria, Megan, Noir, then me.
Nice. Yeah, so I am Jim Davis. I am host of WebDM over on YouTube, where we have every Wednesday tabletop RPG advice and inspiration video for you guys. Also available in podcast form on all major outlets. And yeah, also on WebDM Plays, which is our YouTube channel that hosts all of the actual plays that we do here on the Twitch channel. So go and check us out. Yeah.
Maria?
I am Maria. I can be found on the internet at Happy Capster. I stream Tuesday through Thursdays on my own channel, doing a variety of different things. I also stream TTRPG shows on Dice Priori, as well as a Mythos Mystery Society. And on top of that, I am the community manager of Goblin Society Games, a small TTRPG company that just released a set of cards that go with our compendium of magical items, 300 unique magic items for D&D 5th edition that are really, really cool. They're really neat, and you can buy them now at Drive-Thru RPG. It's very cool. They're very, very neat. That's what I'm up to. That's me.
And Megan?
It's like I
forgot
you said it 30 seconds ago. Like I forgot. Is it me? So it is me. Hello, I'm Megan. You can find me most places on the internet at MeganLynFTW. You can find me streaming with the wonderful folks over with No Initiative. We stream on the Chromatic Chimeras Twitch channel every Monday at 6:30. Normally we play our ongoing quest campaign, Quest the Soaring City, but for this month we are taking a little break, and we are playing a Blades in the Dark mini-series that I'm extremely excited about. So it's Mondays at 6:30 Eastern. You can also hear me on the Protean City Comics podcast, which is a Masks actual play podcast, in their new comics line, The Incidentals, which should have new episodes on Wednesdays. I am also an indie game designer, and you can find any of my games at meganlynftw.itch.io. And that's me.
That makes it my turn.
It's your turn.
I remembered that much. Hi, I'm Noir. You can find me all over the internet as the Noir Enigma. I am a streamer, game designer, all that good stuff. I was just named the newest guest writer for the Cursed Captains of Cthulhu Kickstarter. So please go ahead and check that out. I mean, it gives you the chance to be a pirate and punch Cthulhu right in his snoot. So go for it. Also on the Necrobiotic writing team, so definitely check that out. I believe our Kickstarter has ended there. Every Monday you can find me on Critical Misses, where I GM Kingsguard, our Roll20 Spotlight show that's taking place in a homebrew campaign that I have been running for 20 plus years. It has been a lot. Every Wednesday you can find me over on Chromatic Chimera for Woven Realm, our 13th age game. Tuesdays over on Bards and Barbarians channel for Outbreak Dread Rising. The zombie apocalypse happens during a comic book convention, but don't worry, Carrie Yules is fine. And every Saturday you can find me over on Chromatic Chimera. Over on Critical Misses for our morning talk show, Critical Misses. Last week we should have Banana Chan Games and Austin. This week, I don't know who we'll have, but it's always a fun time. So that's me. Check out our stuff.
And lastly, I am Daisy Darling. I'm the producer of WebDM Plays. And catch us again next week for next episode. Bye.